Questions?
Question?
Hand up.
Tyson, was it hard fixing someone in late rounds on Dell? Is it something tough for you? Oh, what's that?
Yeah, listen, he's a tough old boy, Derek, and I got to commend him. I got to tip my hat to Derek Chisora because he's an absolute warrior. And he took a lot of heavy punches. Maybe they left him in too long, but I was very happy when the referee stopped it. He took enough, you know what I mean? He was tired and shipping a lot of heavy blows, and we're not in there to do serious damage to each other. It's a boxing match, and I was happy to see it finished. So yeah, big shout out to Derek Chisora as well.
Yeah. Yo, check. The sun don't shine forever, but as long as it does, it might as well shine together. Business before pleasure. Who you know do it better. I was overwhelmed. I couldn't think of the words. It was like 60,000 people in here in December. Hard times. And a lot of people were saying, oh, this fight won't sell. Yada, yada, yada. It's going to be a terrible fight. But it was far from a terrible fight. And guess what? It did sell. And 60,000 British fans screaming Tyson Fury's name and going off the trolley with that ring walk. What a ring walk. But I'd just like to say, while I got the opportunity and I'm thinking about it, a massive thanks to Frank Warren and Queensberry and Bob Arum for putting this show on and sticking to the word and delivering yet again. And Frank, I call him the magic man, and it's definitely true, isn't it? Because whoever can sell a stadium out in winter, in December, in the freezing cold, against an opponent that people said it's not worth watching, you know, deserves the Blue Peter badge, in my opinion. So if anyone's got one, please give it to Frank right now. So yeah, and he's just got out of surgery, and he's probably drugged up off his tits right now, just to be here. So I know how much pain you've been through, Frank, in the last few months, and I wish you a speedy recovery, and you're an absolute gentleman.
Well, you made...
And Bob.
Yeah, you can only have a magic moment if you've got a magic fighter, and that's what you are. You know, it's unbelievable. When Bob's been in the business longer than me, but as long as I've been in this business, I have never been involved with a fighter with so much charisma, a fighter that has turned his life around. I mean, it is a movie script because he's got Netflix following him around at the moment, making a series with him. And you look at all of what he's done, and he's done that with support, obviously, with his family and friends. But he's just a one-off, and I don't care what anybody says. He is, without a doubt, the most entertaining person in boxing since Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, and
without a doubt.
Right, and remember, boxing is a form of show business, right? It's entertainment, entertaining the fans, and there's no fighter in the planet today who's as much a showman as Tyson Fury, and that's why 60,000 people will come out in the dead of winter to watch him fight. 95,000 will come out in the spring at Wembley to watch him fight because he's a showman. He's a great fighter and a great champion, but above all of that, he's a showman.
So the big question, Frank, really, sorry.
Who's that?
Gareth.
Sorry, Gareth. Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, we talk about where we've got where Tyson's done and where he's come from and what he's done. At the end of the night, everybody stayed. They didn't all go home. They were there. They were listening to the stuff going on between Oleksandr Usyk and also Joyce. They stayed and they were happy and they were cheering. That is what happened tonight. And you get all this negativity that's surrounding the show coming up to it, and some of these people were saying, you know, the tickets are not being sold. I don't know, what do they think? How do they think these people got in here? You know, Go and ask Ticketmaster. They're the people who are in charge of selling the tickets. They're the ones we've done the deal with for the tickets. They sold them. It's phenomenal. You know, Bob's put on some of the biggest shows in boxing ever. And I put on some big shows over here and, you know, some very big shows, but nothing like this. There's never been a take-up like this. This is just amazing. And it's down to a man who's got the most unbelievable personality and all the other stuff I've said. Obviously the fans love him. This is a man who's had 3 books at #1, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 books at #1. To get the #1, someone's got to buy those books, and they've got to be interested in the person whose book they're buying. He's there. He's got this series going on now with Netflix. He's done the record for the charity, for mental health charity, and what he's done for mental health charity has been phenomenal. You know, British public love people who are men of the people, and he's a man of the people. He's been there, up, he's been down, he's clawed his way through his endeavours back to the top, and he deserves to be. He's got a loving family, lovely kids, and a beautiful, lovely wife. You know, he's the luckiest man out there. He's
Very
brilliant.
blessed.
Tyson, you've refused all week to address.
I have. But now I'm ready to talk about it.
Okay, so you spoke to Joe Joyce, you spoke to Oleksandr Usyk in the corner in the triangle in the ring.
Yeah.
Heads of your planning,
Yeah.
2023 are up there with you. What are we going to see in 2023?
Well, we're going to see the biggest year of, hopefully, my career. 2023, we're going to get them big fights that the fans really crave. First of all, let's talk about Usyk, because now I can. Before, everyone once asked me a million questions about Usyk when I've got Chisora to beat. And as we see tonight, Chisora's no easy pushover for anybody. So, yeah, I'm ready. I'm willing to take on Usyk next, whether it's going to be in Saudi Arabia or back here in the UK. It's both places will be fantastic. And let's give the fans one champion, one name, one face. Usyk's up for the challenge. He came over tonight, so fair play to him. He's not an easy boxer to figure out. He's a slick southpaw mover with very good skills, Olympic gold medalist, and he's coming on some good form, so I'm really looking forward to the challenge. But for whatever reason, like I say, a lot of big fights, and Bob's here, he's 125 years old, and he can tell you himself, sometimes the big fights sometimes don't happen for whatever reason. But I've got a good feeling this one's going to happen. But if it doesn't for X, Y, or Z reasons, then we'll have Joe Joyce at Wembley next year as well. But providing the Usyk one does happen, then I'll do him, and then I'll have Joe Joyce as well at Wembley. Why not? Get up. Who's a tougher fight, Usyk or Joyce? And in my opinion, Usyk's a slicker boxer, but Joe Joyce is a juggernaut. And I think that Joe gives me a tougher fight than Usyk. 100%. Big Joe, 6'7" and 19.5 stone, like a juggernaut coming forward at me, trying to smash me to pieces, or Usyk trying to steal a jab running around the ring, trying to nick a point here and there. So I think that Usyk's a very good fighter. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He's the undisputed cruiserweight champion, and he's the unified heavyweight champion. So he's had a fantastic career. But I think that I do a job on him, and I can't just think it. I don't just want to talk it. I want to prove it. So let's get that one on. But like I say, I do think the biggest challenge out there for me is Joe Joyce, the juggernaut. And I'm mentioning him a lot because I'm very impressed with where he's been and where he's come from. The guy should be Olympic gold medalist. He got ripped off in the final, in my opinion. And he's done everything asked of him. He's beat Brian Jennings, a world-class fighter, Daniel Dubois, world-class fighter, and my good friend Joe Parker, another world-class fighter. So he's mandatory ready. And like I say, if Usyk can't be made, then we'll do the juggernaut, and we'll give him a clash of titans for sure.